don't give in. Yeah. Miles and miles you will have been.
Well, hello everybody, it's Suffolk Andy here. A little bit of a traitor today, because I'm in Essex, on the Essex and Suffolk border, at a place called Lawford. And this is St Mary Diversion at Lawford. Just had a little sit on the bench over there and took some pictures of the church and whatever. Beautiful day today. So there you go, what a spot, eh? What a spot. Right, but that's not what I'm here for. I have been given a subject to talk about, and it's been given to me by Bandit Nev, the Aussie vlogger. Yes, on Ruby the Suzuki Bandit. Yes, he sent me a message and he's asked me to discuss a subject, and I think I can make that into a slightly bigger subject, so let's get on with it. Let's get on the ride and let's talk about it. Bandit Nev has asked me my thoughts on Prince Philip and his accident up in Sandringham a couple of weeks ago. If anybody's not au fait with it, I'll just run through what happened. He was out in his car, in his Land Rover, Royal Land Rover, and apparently he pulled out in front of an oncoming car at a T-junction, which caused an accident. His car was upside down when it was finished. There was a lady in the other car and two children. She broke her wrist, and luckily the children weren't hurt. Prince Philip was a little bit shaken up, and it was all over the news. But the point is, Prince Philip, or as some people call him, the Mad Greek, is 97 years old. Yes, 97 years old, and he's still driving. Well, let's go on with the story a little bit more. A couple of days later, he had a new Range Rover delivered, and out he went again, and he was caught with no seatbelt, apparently. No seatbelt. And there was a lot of public persuasion for him to actually apologise to the lady who was in the car on the accident, and he did apologise. But a lot of people said they thought it was a bit begrudging, but he did it. So the police have said they're looking into the seatbelt incident, and they'll make up their mind later. But after that incident, Prince Philip, the Mad Greek, handed in his licence at 97. So the subject is, when is enough enough? Now, I can't speak too much on this, but the only experience I had was with my own father, who died about 4 years ago now, at 85, and he drove right up till 9 weeks before he died. Now, I noticed, as the years went past, a decline in my dad's driving. Not when he was 60 or 70 even, but when he got to sort of 80, I noticed there was a bit of a decline in his driving, and he'd been driving since, well, in the war, when he was in the Air Force, where he learnt, and he drove abroad and everywhere else, and I would put him down as a bloody good driver. He really was. I was never frightened with him, or whatever. But I noticed when he got to about 80, his driving got a little bit more, I don't know how to put it really. He would keep in one gear a lot, and he'd get a bit confused at junctions where there was lots of different lanes. We were lane hopping and whatever. And my nephew said to me one day, he said, "Uncle," he said, "I've been out with Grandad, and he's all over the place." He said, "That was a bit frightening." I said, "Yes, my boy." So I know, I think I've got to have a word with him soon about his driving. And my sister said the same. But unfortunately, the poor old boy died before we had that conversation. And we were getting close to it. Trust me, we were getting close. And the other thing he used to do, if he came around mine and he was picking me up for something, he'd get out of his car, give me the keys and say, "There, Andrew, you drive." And I thought, "Dad, you don't want me to see you driving," you know, and I'm talking, he was 85 then. and I thought, yeah, you don't want me to see you driving. So that's the only experience I've ever had on it. So when is enough enough? Well, in this country, I think it's when you get to 70, you have to apply for your license again, and you have to say that you are safe to drive. There's no test or anything else, but you have to sign to say that you are safe to drive. It's like, well, basically, I don't know what the word is, it's self-assessment. Now, I've heard people say, oh, when people get to a certain age, they shouldn't bloody drive, they should be taken off the road. But, if you look at the statistics of driving accidents, it's not the old fuds who have the accidents. Yeah, they might drive slow and whatever. It's the youngsters. It's the youngsters who have more accidents than the old fuddies. And the statistics are there to prove it. So should we take the cars away from the youngsters, or should you take the cars away from the oldies? I don't personally think when you get to a certain age, because we're all different, you should have your licence taken away. The only thing I would say is I wouldn't be against when you get to 70 that you have to have an eye test or something like that to make sure that your eyes are okay, you know, you got the right prescription glasses and whatever. Look at that for a church. That one there was built for this one we're going to come down here, which is falling in the middle. Yeah, so I don't know about myself, you know. I know Bandit now and myself are about the same age, actually. In fact, we might even be the same age. You know, I feel confident on this bike. I'm quite happy to ride this bike. You know, I'm still on a hyper bike. Never still on a Suzuki Bandit, which is a bloody quick bike, you know. And yeah, you can see the middle of that church is missing. That's why that church has been built up the road, because that one had to be demolished in the middle because it fell to pieces. But anyway, where was I? Yeah, so I don't feel any different riding this bike. But when they come to a point where I say I better, you know, I'm not riding this bike anymore, it'll be maybe 2 or 3 things. One will be I'm not enjoying it anymore. The other thing would be I'm not physically capable of doing it. And the other thing is if I think I'm going to hurt other people or be a danger to other people, then I'll quit. That's probably when I'll quit. And you know, if your health is still with you. So it's a funny situation. I don't know if any of you folks have got any ideas of what should happen. I don't think older people should be retested. I don't think that's fair. I took my test in the 70s, and I don't really want to do another one. You know, I've driven all my life, and I think I've had a couple of very minor accidents and a couple of very minor spills on a motorbike. But there must come a time when you have to say enough is enough. So, do people have to be retested when they get to a certain age? Because I know youngsters, if they get points on their licences very quickly after passing their test, they have to do it again if they're a nuisance. But if somebody's driven all their lives and never had a problem, why should they be retested? I don't know. So I don't know if any of you boys and girls have experienced this with your own parents, or you know, even with yourself, thinking, you know, I've had enough of this. You know, I know several guys, older guys, who have called it a day driving because they think they're a danger and they don't enjoy it anymore, which is fair enough. So going back to the Mad Greek, what should happen to him? Well, at the end of the day, he's given his licence. As for the seatbelt, if it's proved, he should be prosecuted. I know doesn't matter now if he gets any points on his licence because he hasn't got one. And I don't think a 60 or 80 pound fine is going to bother him that much anyway. They must be equal in the law. I don't care who he is, you know. And if he's caused the accident, if that was his fault and that was a dangerous move, or you know, he should be prosecuted for that, because you, me, and everybody else would do. You know, so if an older driver causes an accident, they're just as liable for it as a younger driver, and they should be prosecuted, and especially him, because it's, you know, this is supposed to be equal justice in front of the law. And I don't care who he is, the Mad Greek, the wife, you know, the husband of the Queenie, So yeah, I think I'm going to end it there. I don't know what you think. It's a funny old subject, really, isn't it? You know, because you all know one day you're going to get there. You know, there's going to be a day when I go, oh my god, I can't ride this bike anymore. You know, I've had enough. But I will say, and I will say this, in a way, I'm glad that bikes like what I'm on now were not available as such 43 years ago when I started riding a motorbike. Because, you know, when I was 18, and we all know what it's like when you're 18 and a bit older, you're fearless. You know you're going to live forever. You know, nothing's going to hurt you. And I'm glad in a way that we didn't have hyper bikes like this, because I think it wouldn't have landed up that well for me. I don't think. Good job we were on freaking slower bikes. But there you go. So let me know what you think. It's a vast subject, as you know, it's a vast subject. And have you had any experience yourself with, you know, your parents or somebody you know, where you had to say, enough is enough? Here we are, we're now going back. Suffolk, look, into my Suffolk again. Welcome to Suffolk. I don't know what the hell that thing is down there, some old caravan, but with that, all right, safe. Certainly love each other. Suffolk Andy.